I'm in the Russian History Museum in Ekaterinburg, and I need to be quick. He's Alexander the First, the Blessed, the Emperor, and just a little connection to American history. He was a good friend of John Quincy Adams, the United States' first ambassador to the court, and the Russian court had just won its independence from Great Britain. So they sent John Quincy Adams over, actually for a second time. John Quincy had gone to the court of My Lady Ekaterina the Great before the American colonies achieved independence from Great Britain. So the American government, the U.S. government, sent him back as its ambassador. And Emperor Alexander the First, you see here, greeted John Quincy Adams and told him he was delighted at his appointment. These two men were both intellectuals, and there was a connection between the two of them. In fact, they used to walk along the Neva River in St. Petersburg and talk pleasantries mostly. That was the emperor's rule. No politics when they had their morning stroll. They talk about their aversion for fancy dress balls and their love of wool. Now, if you've ever been to St. Petersburg in the wintertime, you'd understand what, your wool would become your best friend, and nice warm socks. But they became friends, and in fact, Alexander the First, he had lost his children young due to illness, and he became very attached to the grandchildren of John and Abigail Adams, and used to take John Quincy's son, I believe it was Charles. They had brought Charles as a little boy to Russia, and the emperor used to throw John Quincy on his back and give him horsey back, like piggyback rides, running up and down the palace corridors. And you can imagine the fits of laughter coming from the little Adams boy. And John Quincy Adams, when he left this appointment in Russia, in St. Petersburg, in his diary, he wrote that, I'm paraphrasing the president, that he owes Alexander the First a great debt. That basically he taught him much, and he owed a great deal to him for the knowledge he attained and the friendship. Of interest, John Quincy Adams was a master linguist. I believe he was a genius and probably our most intellectual of presidents, and he could pick up languages very, very quickly, but never mastered the Russian language, even though he tried. Again, here we have again an American, a United States and Russian connection. They were friends, good friends. The only time Alexander the First broke his own rule while walking with Adams along the Neva in St. Petersburg about speaking of pleasantries alone is when he realized Napoleon was going to invade his beloved nation, and John Quincy Adams was there when Napoleon invaded Russia, and his letters to his mother Abigail Adams' home, he sent home, is a great resource as to to place the historical context of what Adams saw in Russia when Russia defeated Napoleon. A little history lesson. Great Tsar, Alexander the First, the Blessed.